I often hear from people at classic car or antique shows that your Super Alloy 1 is fantastic on pits or cuts in pot metal, but how does it work on broken pot metal, or if I want to solder two pieces of zinc die cast or pewter together? Well, in this demonstration, we're working on two pieces of the white metal or pot metal that was passed down for generations to a woman that owns it now. She has obviously cherished this heirloom and would love to see it repaired after her husband fell on the table and broke its leg. Now this is a heavy part, so we're going to preheat the leg more than we would if it was a thinner or smaller piece. I like to heat all sides of the pot metal to achieve an even heat distribution. I do this so the solder will have the strongest bond to the surface. Now those of you that are familiar with the Super Alloy 1 already know to let the parent metal or base metal melt your rod. Go back and forth side to side here just to get, again, an even heat distribution, and then we start putting on our flux. We add the flux to tell us where we are. The flux is a temperature guide. And I'm going to tin the surface just like so. After you tin, then you can build. Notice I'm hitting from the backside also to pull it through. Now when you're working on a piece of pot metal like this, where you have a groove in the back, you can actually build up to the backside. Another rule when using Super Alloy 1 is add flux whenever you add the rod, unless you're trying to build up. Then you add the flux at the end and heat gently. So notice I'm just building up here. I've already achieved a nice tin to the surface, so I'm going to keep heating back and forth and building. Notice I'm never turning that flux black. I heat a little bit and I get out. I heat a little bit and I get out. And I'm testing right here to see how hot it is. You're never going to ruin your pot metal piece if you keep doing this. If you keep testing it and watching your flux, that flux is going to tell you where you are. Now we're going to let air cool. We're going to flip it over and put some cool blue heatsink on this side and repair the other side. We did not cool our part with water as it would shock it or weaken it. We let the part cool naturally. Now here we have another one of our amazing products that will stop the heat transfer. I packed the cool blue heat paste in the valley we just filled so the solder will not melt out or soften on me. Now if we didn't have this cool blue here, I would be fixing one side, then the other. Turning it over, fixing it, then my other area would soften, and I'd be turning it over and over and playing that game, and that's something we just don't want to do. That's why this cool blue is so important when you're repairing something that's broken in half. Okay, so here we go. We're just going to heat this area up. Now, you'll need to heat your part longer and more localized than before because the cool blue is doing its job. It's pulling that heat out of the part. So I'm just going to keep working it and working it back and forth, side to side here. And I'm going to test every now and then to see where I'm at. The flux will tell me where I'm at. Put the flux in. The flux isn't turning color. That cool blue is really working. Keep heating it. There we go. Try it again. Try the top up here. It's starting to finally tin for me. Now notice that every time I add the rod, I add the flux. That's really important. Now I'm just doing some building. So after you build it up this way, I like to go in and grab my my Super Alloy 5 rod. I'm sure you can use other tools, but I like to use that rod because I do have it handy. And I dip the Super Alloy 5 rod because it melts at a higher temperature. And there we go. Dip some more flux. Keep heating it, working with it. Some guys use wood doweling. That always works. Okay, so I'm going to do the other side, and then we're going to show you what it looks like after we clean it all up. We cleaned the part and removed the heat paste. Now after the heat paste is used, the cool blue goes right back in the jar so we can use it many times over. And after seeing this, you'll find yourself needing cool blue in more areas of your welding and soldering endeavors. And notice there was no remelt on the backside. Now you can take a look at the size of the pot metal leg as well. This Super Alloy 1 is strong. I use a Dremel tool to clean it up and keep the lines in our part. Again, if you're ever worried about the strength, then just add more rod to the backside of your piece. Now, we don't usually do repairs for people because you don't need us to. This is very simple to work with. Prep your part by sanding, filing, flap wheel, Dremel, whatever you need to. Just don't get too aggressive, as pot metal or zinc die cast is soft. And after cleaning, you're more than halfway to the finish line. I don't know how many times I've heard guys say you can't repair pot metal. And if you don't have the right tool, you're right. But the Super Alloy 1 makes easy work of pot metal, zinc die cast, and pewter repair.